Hi guys. Now, this lecture is going through section 2.4, floating point. Okay? Now, floating point numbers are used primarily to hold measurements as compared to integers which hold count. So, if I want to find out how many students in this class are A's, that would be an integer variable. But if I want to find out something like how much the students in this room weigh, that would require a floating point variable because it would hold measurement. So if I want to find out what the temperature is, it generally is used for holding fractions, sometimes numbers in scientific notation. So there's either so these numbers are constants, like so we always put decimal points whenever we have a floating point number to tell it it's not an integer. Otherwise it'll think it's an integer. So here we're going to have, for example, 500.0, telling it it's a decimal. Okay, we can force a string input to be floating point by using float. Just like earlier, I caused input to be an integer by using int. So if we want to be integer, we use int. So this forces miles to be float, and this makes miles divide by 500. Now, print can handle all sorts of great stuff that way. Okay. So, okay, you can also use scientific notation. So if you have a really big number, a really tiny number near zero, you can use times 10 to the something. So if we did 1e minus 3, that's 1.0001. That's 1 times 10 to the minus third. If we want a huge number, all right, 6.02 E23 is 6, 0, 2, and then 21 more zeros. Okay. So, I'm going to throw one of these stuff at you as a quiz soon. So I'm going to jump over that stuff. Okay. Now a little note, numbers, when you write them, you can't have commas in them. So when they want to write the speed of light, you write it as without commas, just all the digits put together. Okay, and so here, the joules, so they're playing with E equals mc squared here. So what we're going to do is multiply various things, or divide them by c squared. So we can change things from, okay, so we're going to read a floating point number that's mass, and we're going to show how much energy is in it. Okay, just to be annoying. Now, little note, we're going to get more into this later, but times is done with a star over here. and exponents are a double star. So this is the mass times c squared. And so if we change that mass into energy, it would print out, right? Now, we can change energy back into mass. Or, okay, or we can change, here it's going to see how many AA batteries would that mass you just described form. And so let's say we have, talking about 5 kilograms. I'm going to run this thing. It's going to tell me that it's going to release this thing in scientific notation. That's, okay. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this is one big number. Let me see. So that's about 4 quadrillion, 493 trillion, 775 billion, 893,684,088 joules. So that would be the equivalent, and now it's going to write it as without the scientific notation, just to be annoying. Right, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 11, 12. So I think it's 104 quadrillion, 10 trillion, 551 billion. No, it's 104 trillion, 10 billion, 551 million, 873,257.45 AA batteries, or 107,403,821 tons of TMT. Okay, for what that's worth. The main thing I want to focus on, okay, so you see the various names and what types they are. This guy turns out to be an integer. These guys are fractions, and this will be a float because we told it that it's a float. So sometimes things have types because we tell it there's types. Now, we can have overflow and underflow errors. Overflow errors happen when we just have a number that's too darn big. It's hard. An underflow is it's too close to 0. Right? So we can send 2 to various powers. If we try to take 2 to the 1024, that will cause an overflow. It's too big. Don't worry about that. That is almost impossible to pull off. That's why we use these kinds of numbers. Okay? Okay, so. Okay, so I think this, I'll also throw in some 2.5 material to this tape video. Isn't that fun? Let's look at 205 material. Okay, so now we understand 3 types of objects. There are strings, which are just words. There are integers, which are used for counting things. And there's floating points, which are used to hold measures of things, like measuring the speed of light or measuring how much flour we're going to add to our cake. It's compared to how much sugar and stuff like that. Now let's talk about how we can do arithmetic. Okay? So we can do arithmetic with either integers or floating points. They all work together. They all will work with integers, and we can even add them together, I believe. So we can add plus things. We can minus things, subtract. We can also put a minus in front of something to make it negative. Or if it's negative, make it positive. So we could write minus x plus y, or x plus minus y. We can multiply. This is all standard arithmetic stuff. And as I mentioned earlier, the exponent is a double star. So, okay, so we can, now evaluating means basically calculating what it does, like a calculator. Calculators run around evaluating. Now there's certain, just like PEMDAS, which we teach a lot in math class, basically there's a slightly fancier PEMDAS that computers use that are not quite the same as the math class PEMDAS. Okay? So, the P, parentheses, are always evaluated first. So when we do 2 times parentheses x plus 1, first we do x plus 1, then we multiply by 2. The minus is done before times, divide, percent, plus, any of that stuff. Plus, minus, so the unary minus is done first. Then we do the times, divide, percent. So that's the M. I mean, not M, the M of PEMDAS. By the way, they're not even mentioning star star, but I'm guessing, so, mud. This is the mud. Okay? We'll discuss what percent is, but sort of, but to give you a little hint, it's remainder. So we divide, and sometimes we get remainders. Then we do plus minus, and when we have 2 of the same, like 2 pluses or pluses and minuses, we go left to right. So when we do x times 2 divided by 3, we multiply by 2, and then we divide by 3. That sometimes comes up if there's a division by 0 or something. Mostly, things should work right. Okay? And if we're not sure we're doing it right, we put more parentheses in. So let's take a look at this demo. So here we see we get x equals 4, w equals 2, y equals 3 times x plus 10 over w. The first step is to take 10 over w, because that has higher precedent. That gives us 5. So now we're going to do 3 times x plus 5. We simplified that. Now we put x is 4, so 3 times plus 5. So now it becomes 3 times 9. And now we know that y is 27. Now, we can, some programmers would want to put parentheses around 10 over w. Generally, I don't bother with that, but a lot of programmers would prefer that. So, okay. So I'm going to, I think that's enough for one video. So I'm going to stop here. And anyway, I've run out of chapter.